The fact that you clicked on today's video just proves to me that you want to make sure your upcoming Disney World trip doesn't suddenly burst into flames because of one major mistake. So let's start putting out the fires before it's too late. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. No Disney World vacation is perfect, but some vacation mistakes aren't simply minor inconveniences. Some of these threaten the very integrity of your trip that you've been hyping yourself up for a long time. But no more, not today, not on my watch, because I want your vacation to be filled with good memories rather than regrets, which is why we're going to expose some of the biggest mistakes you can make before or during your Disney World vacation so that you won't cause history to repeat itself, because you know I've done all these things probably. Now, if you've been watching our videos for the past few months, then you know what's coming. We want to give you free stuff because we appreciate y'all so much. So go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen or head to disneyfoodblog.com/WDW packlist. And we'll send you a free digital Disney World packing companion download that you can keep close by at all times while you're getting your suitcases loaded up and ready for your big Disney vacay. Because as you're going to learn later on, what you pack can mean a world of difference to your trip. A Disney World of difference. I don't know. Was that corny? Yeah, that was way too corny. So first up, let's talk Genie Plus. Now, despite its name, Disney Genie Plus isn't as easy as rubbing a lamp and making a wish. It takes a lot of research and prep on your end to make sure you can get your money's worth out of this premium planning tool. Many guests choose to use Disney Genie Plus to gain access to lightning lanes, which will let you skip the standby lines on some rides and avoid those long wait times. But Genie Plus changes frequently. And by frequently, I mean like it's already changed 9 times since it first released back in 2021. And it's getting ready to change again for 2024. So what you learned about this planning tool originally may be null and void by the time you actually make it to the parks. And this isn't something that only trips up first-timers. We're in the parks literally every day, and Genie Plus still trips us up when something new springs up. So the best thing you can do before you decide to purchase Genie Plus on the day of your visit is to research and be familiar with the basic concepts of how the service works. We've got lots of Genie Plus and Lightning Lane videos out now that'll take you through not just the sneaky secrets of this service, but how you can use it successfully in each of the parks. Now, you're going to need to know for now and the future which lightning lanes will be the toughest to get so that you can prioritize them at the start of your day. Because even though you pay for Genie Plus, that doesn't mean lightning lanes for certain rides won't fill up before you have the chance to secure them yourself, especially on more popular days. So take a look at the screen now and check out which rides tend to have lightning lanes that fill up the fastest. These will be the rides you want to prioritize getting lightning lanes for starting at 7 a.m. when they go live each day. Just keep in mind that the lightning lane options on this list do not include the more popular individual lightning lane options. I know, it gets more confusing. While Genie Plus allows you to pay per person per multiple lightning lane rides in a single day, the more popular higher demand rides are not included in the standard lineup of Genie Plus options. Instead, rides like Tron Light Cycle Run, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom, Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom, Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot are going to require a separate lightning lane purchase per person per single ride through. So yeah, going back to the original point, Genie Plus is confusing, but we've got the solutions for you. Go ahead and watch our videos, read those blog posts. We're going to get through this together. Next mistake that can mess with your vacation is assuming that shows happen at the same time every day, or even that park hours are the same. So if you're 5 minutes late to work, it's an honest mistake, but being 5 minutes late to a Disney show means missing a huge portion of the performance and possibly not being able to find a good vantage point once you finally do arrive. The times for Disney's parades and shows and fireworks spectaculars change regularly. Here's a couple of recent examples for you. Magic Kingdom's Festival of Fantasy Parade had been running its parade route twice per day with showtimes at noon and 3 p.m. But once October rolled around, the Festival of Fantasy Parade dropped to just the 3 p.m. showtime. And Hollywood Studios' Fantasmic gets real wishy-washy about its showtimes. Sometimes we'll see it having 2 performances, sometimes it's only 1, sometimes the shows will start at 8:30, sometimes 9, sometimes 9:30. The big takeaway here, make sure you check on a show's specific hours, not just before your trip, but at the beginning of your day too, just in case they switch up on a whim. Daily showtimes are available to view on the My Disney Experience app. Just look for them in the app's search engine or find them listed on the attractions and shows tip board. And you can also look at them in the park hours lists. Okay, so this next mistake is what tripped me up recently, and that's not understanding all the different room types at the hotels. So it's not just the Disney World resorts that are completely different from one another, it's the individual rooms as well. There are several different categories of Disney hotel rooms that you can choose from, ranging from standard to deluxe to multi-room suites to club level to studios to DVC villas. And while it's pretty easy to book a room based on room view, the different bed configurations for each room are not specified and can majorly trip up your group. Take Disney's Beach Club Resort, for example. You can book a standard room and be given a king bed with a sleeper sofa, two queen beds and a sleeper sofa. The possibilities are many, and depending on your group, one room type might work for some, but not work for others, and you can't specifically book some of these room types. They just have to, luck of the draw be assigned to you. For instance, a 3-person group with 2 parents and a kid may be just fine with a king bed and a sleeper sofa, but a 3-person group that's made up of work colleagues in the same room might be way more awkward, create major tension from the get-go. That's why putting in your room requests upon check-in is so important. While you're not always guaranteed the specific room type you request, it does greatly improve your chances of getting it. You can make general requests while checking into your room via the My Disney Experience app, but when it comes to this sort of thing, you're going to need to call directly to the hotel, speak with a cast member, and make sure that your specific requests are noted on your reservation. For example, on my recent trip, I wanted 2 queen beds and a sleeper sofa. I did not want a king bed and a sleeper sofa, or just a king bed, or just 2 queen beds. I wanted 2 queen beds and a sleeper sofa, and I called and made sure that that request was noted on my reservation. Now, I didn't get it. They put me in a room with just 2 queen beds, and I actually called and asked if there was something available with 2 queen beds and a sleeper sofa to be moved into a different room. Luckily there was, but again, it's not guaranteed. Now, where you're going to see where these specific types of room configurations are listed is on the Disney World website. When you look at, say, you're booking a room and you're looking at a standard room, and it'll say down underneath in the small print, these are the different types of configurations you could potentially get. And so you can look there and see which one you want and then make sure you have that request in. Now, this next one is a little bit of a strange one, but it can definitely mess with your day. It only happens at certain times of the year, but you still gotta be prepared because it happens every year. Since Disney World is located in hurricane country, the parks typically see an excessive amount of rain in the year. And you know what excessive rain leads to? Flooding. Because despite the rumors, Disney World cannot control the weather, and they sometimes can't even control the flooding in their parks. Some of the worst flooding we've seen happen throughout the parks is over at Celebrity 5 and 10 Gift Shop in Hollywood Studios. Yep, talking about inside the gift shop. Also at the front of Hollywood Studios leading into Hollywood Boulevard. At the front of Cosmic Rays and Magic Kingdom. On several of the walkways around Animal Kingdom. In front of Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. And basically anywhere else where there's a slight dip in the path and not enough drains to keep up with the downpours. And we're not talking about a little puddle here and there. We're talking ankle-deep water that'll soak your shoes and leave you soggy even after the storm lets up, if it lets up. Now, while there's no way for you to stop a flood, there are ways you can prepare for it. Be sure to pack water-resistant shoes, quick dry shorts, extra pairs of socks, maybe even a poncho or umbrella if staying dry is a huge priority for you. Basically, just have a change of clothes on hand so you don't have to walk around damp, because even saying the word soggy socks makes my feet ache. Now, having a separate bag or even just a trash bag to put wet clothes in is going to help you be able to shove those soggy clothes in your backpack without worrying they're going to get everything else moist in your bag as you continue on with your day. Just don't forget to take these clothes out of your bag when you get back to the room to lay them out to dry. And I'd also recommend potentially packing a light jacket, because even on those warmer weather days with the possibility of rain, if you do get wet and you escape into a gift shop or a restaurant or a show, the AC will be on blast at these locations. So for those of you who get easily chilled to the bone, you might want to have an extra layer to help you out there. You'll also want to pack Ziploc baggies to protect those important tech items like your phone or camera that have the potential of being damaged by excessive rain. Personally, I have a pair of Teva sandals that if I know it's going to rain, I put those on. I make sure I have a back strap, and I'm not going to be sliding around in flip-flops or anything, and those dry really fast too. Okay, so the first day of Disney World is super exciting, and why wouldn't it be? This is it. This is the moment you've been anticipating for weeks and months and maybe even years. So you might find yourself letting your excitement get the best of you and hitting that first day real hard. We're talking sun up till sundown, constant rides, very few breaks, and tens of thousands of steps. By the start of day 2, you might come to find your stamina has already depleted greatly as your body finds itself still struggling to recuperate from the day before. And by day 3, the burnout is real. Remember, Disney World is a marathon, not a sprint. So even if you're trying to get as much done as you can in a single day, you still need to plan out plenty of breaks to watch the shows, get a snack, refill your water bottle, and just sit back to appreciate the details of the park. You may also want to plan a full break day during the week to give your body a chance to rest up before diving into the second half of your trip. And no marathon can be pulled off successfully without a little training, so make sure to prepare for those 20,000 step days ahead of time while you're still back home. Take the stairs in your office instead of the elevator, or plan afternoon or evening walks. Take a stroll around your local shopping mall or hit up the treadmills in your gym to build up your stamina so you don't run out of steam prematurely during your vacation. I understand that going to the parks is the main event in Disney World, but don't forget about Disney Springs too. This is a district where you can shop and eat and bowl and watch a movie and ride in a tethered hot air balloon and make a Lego figurine that looks just like you and catch a live performance or just take a stroll around the block and listen to that lo-fi soundtrack pipe through the marketplace. Honestly, it's a great location to take a break from the parks because you don't have to pay to get in. You don't have to stress over collecting lightning lanes, you don't have to pay to park, and you can still experience Disney Imagineering at its finest. That being said, if you're looking for the best time to visit Disney Springs, I'd highly recommend coming here in the morning. While you can't always avoid going to Disney Springs on a weekend, that's when you're going to see the shopping district at its absolute busiest, to an overwhelming extent, really. This is especially true once evening strikes because that's when you're going to see the locals, the bachelorette parties, and newly arriving guests taking over the scene. If you do go to Disney Springs on the weekend, just set your expectations, brace yourself for the crowds, and make sure you've got your advanced dining reservations already set up and you're arriving about an hour ahead of time. All right, this is an easy fix to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Don't fall into the mobile order trap. The mobile order function on your My Disney Experience app is great until it's not. On a busy Disney World day, which is most days, if I'm being frank, you may find yourself unable to place a mobile order at Disney's more popular quick service restaurants. That's because there are only a limited number of mobile order time slots available each day. So if the restaurant hits capacity, you might not be able to pick up your food via mobile order, meaning instead you're still going to have to wait in a very long line for it, because if mobile order is sold out, there's definitely going to be lines. So let's say you were planning to grab lunch at noon at ABC Commissary and Hollywood Studios, but 500 other families have the same idea as you. If you don't want to stand in a physical line to order your food, I highly suggest scheduling your mobile order as soon as possible, maybe even first thing in the morning, to guarantee a spot in the mobile order queue when you want to eat your food. This doesn't mean you have to eat your food first thing in the morning. You can select a time slot for food pickup at pretty much any time of the day subject to availability, but you want to make sure you lock in the time you want to eat as soon as possible. Now, that said, you may be able to get a prime lunch hour time slot, but that doesn't mean you want to. Because even after you've picked up your food, it might be even more difficult to find a free table to sit at. Quick service crowds typically clear out around 3 to 4 p.m., so if you don't mind having a late lunch or early dinner or even a very early lunch, you can enjoy some classic Disney fast food with minimal stress and way more available seats. So this is not Disneyland, my friends, where you can walk to all the hotels and parks and shops that you want to see in just a few minutes. Disney World is huge, about the size of San Francisco, so walking from park to park and resort to resort isn't an option, aside from a few rare instances where the resorts are in the same general vicinity, like you'll find in Magic Kingdom and Epcot area hotels. Otherwise, you're going to have to rely on either your own car or ride shares or Disney World's free transportation. So Disney World has multiple complimentary transportation options to choose from, which we love. There's buses, Skyliner gondolas, monorail trains, and boats. But not every transportation service is going to allow you to get where you need to go. You may think that the Magic Kingdom boat taking you from Magic Kingdom to Fort Wilderness will also stop at Wilderness Lodge and Contemporary, but it won't. It's only going to take you to Fort Wilderness. You might think that the bus that you're taking back from Hollywood Studios is going to just go to your hotel, but it won't. It'll go to like 4 other hotels too. All this to say, you need to study up on your resort's different transportation routes ahead of time. Not just to know what transportation is going to be available for you, but what routes these services will take as well, because they can and will change up often. Another important thing to note about Disney transportation, it isn't always fast. And in the case of the Disney buses, those shuttles are rarely ever fast. Buses are still subject to the same traffic as other vehicles on Disney World's roadways. That means if traffic is backed up, you might be waiting on or for a bus for a very, very, very long time. Bus stops also get super crowded first thing in the morning, especially if you're heading to Magic Kingdom. So crowded, in fact, that you may not even be able to get on the first Magic Kingdom bus that comes through, forcing you to wait even longer for another bus to come along and pick you up. Unless you're cool with paying for a rideshare like Uber or Lyft or minivans to skip all the extra waiting, then you're going to want to plan ahead and assume it's going to be a good 30 to 45 minutes before you reach your destination. So if you're trying to get over to, say, a dining reservation at one of the parks, give yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to be. Also, keep in mind that resort buses don't travel between hotels. So if you got a reservation for Boma at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge and you're staying at All Star Sports, then you're going to have to take a bus to either one of the parks or Disney Springs in order to transfer to another bus for Animal Kingdom Lodge from there. In cases like this, it's almost just worth it to splurge the extra on a rideshare or skip the extra bus transferring hassle because, All Star Sports is really, really close to Animal Kingdom Lodge. And this is especially going to be worth it if you might miss your reservation, which of course can come with fees. Also, keep an eye on those transportation hours. I was recently at an extended evening hours in Hollywood Studios. Wanted to get back to Beach Club via the Skyliner. I was told by cast members that it would be running until 12:30 in the morning because it was going to run until an hour and a half after the last park closed. But they were wrong. It was only going to run until an hour and a half after Hollywood Studios closed, and that didn't include extended evening hours. So when I went to try to get on the Skyliner, it did not exist any longer. So I had to take a bus, and that bus went to about 4 different hotels before it got to mine. So that whole situation that I thought was going to take me 20 minutes ended up taking me an hour and a half. So even with all the times I've been to Disney World and all the things I've done there, I still don't ever know what's completely going on. So definitely check those park hours and check those transportation hours as well. Okay, time to talk about food again. And this can be a major disservice to yourself if you decide to do it. Disney World's parks have a few solid table service options, but most of them can't hold a candle to what the hotels in Disney Springs can offer. Some of our personal favorite Disney World hotel restaurants as of late include Geyser Point Bar and Grill at Wilderness Lodge, Steakhouse 71 at Contemporary Resort. I don't know how they make that burger that good, but it is amazing. Jico at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Enchanted Rose at Disney's Grand Floridian, and Storybook Dining at Artist Point with Snow White, also at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. I really liked Wilderness Lodge, okay? Now, I've already mentioned in the previous point that taking Disney's complimentary transportation can be a giant headache if you're on a time crunch. However, when it comes to traveling to the hotels to get you over to your dining reservation, you're still probably better off taking a Disney shuttle or a rideshare than relying on driving there yourself. While those who have dining reservations at a particular resort are absolutely allowed to park there during the duration of their meal, we've been noticing lately that dining reservation guests are being directed over to those far-off parking lots to park their cars way out in the boonies. For example, if you've got a reservation for Citricos at Grand Floridian, you may be asked to park in the cast member parking lot and walk over from there, which is a pretty good distance away from the resort, especially if you're in heels for Citricos. Again, out of the 3 travel options, I tend to err on the side of rideshare, but if you don't want to have to keep paying each time you need to travel someplace new, and it all goes back to what I was saying before, get to your bus stop earlier than you think you need to so that the worst case scenario is you arrive early, which isn't a worst case scenario at all. The way we pack for Disney World has drastically changed over the years thanks to a series of trial and error. So here are a couple things we've stopped shoving into our suitcases simply because it's just not worth the struggle. First is jeans. Now I get it, I too have some really nice high rises and jean shorts that match pretty much any top I own, but this is Florida. This is a place known for its humidity and rain, so if you get wet from a sudden shower or one of the water attractions, those jeans are going to absorb that moisture and keep it with you all day long, making the rest of your park day damp and heavy and uncomfortable. Plus, if you're like me and you buy new jeans, then they're probably also going to turn your legs blue. Now, how about those full-size toiletries? Sometimes we're guilty of trying to take the easy way out and tossing those big bottles of shampoo and conditioner into our travel bags without a second thought. But here's the thing, those full-size containers can be a real headache during your trip, and we're not just talking about going through TSA at the airport, although that's a big concern. We're talking about opening your suitcase to discover that your shampoo or conditioner is exploded all over your belongings. That's not fun at all. And remember that the Disney World Hotel hotels have toiletries they provide, so you might not even need to bring certain items, but if you do want to pack some, use those travel-sized toiletry bottles or invest in some small leak-proof containers. And the hairdryer. You might be like me and typically toss your hairdryer right into your suitcase before traveling, but once again, most Disney resorts or any hotel really provide hair dryers in the room, so you can save yourself quite a bit of space in your suitcase and leave your hair dryer at home, unless you're my mom who's super high maintenance about her hair dryer. Remember, we've got a whole free checklist of things you do need to remember to pack before your Disney World vacation, and it's ready to send your way. So be sure to head to disneyfoodblog.com/WDW packlist, and we'll be sure to get that digital companion sent to your email pronto. Fun fact, the Disney parks have received a FARE, which is a Food Allergy Research and Education Award for dedication to providing a safe and enjoyable dining experience for vacationing families. So, if you're about to travel to Disney World and you have any dietary needs that need to be met during your trip, do not neglect to mention them, ever, ever, ever. When you make a reservation for a sit-down meal, you'll have the option to make a note about any dietary needs that you have right then and there. Just click on the Add button next to the Food Allergy or Special Requests option. You can also email the Special Diets department at special.diets@disneyworld.com. Most table service locations have online menus that you can look over even before you make your dining reservations, just to see if there's actually going to be any items at these restaurants that'll suit your dietary needs and your palate. Lots of these restaurants also have specific allergy-friendly items noted toward the bottom of the menu to make your dining research spree even easier. Now, quick service locations also have their menus posted online, but since there's no advanced dining reservations to be made, you won't be able to note any specific dietary requests. So it's best to ask for the quick services allergy binder when you arrive, or to speak to a chef so you can see what specific ingredients are used to make up the entrees. But the most important thing you need to remember, whether you're dining at a table service or a quick service, is to always ask to speak directly with trained Special Diets cast members or chefs at each dining location you visit if you have any concerns or questions about how these meals are prepared. The good thing about doing this is that, yes, they can walk you through the menu and tell you what's safe for you to eat, but if none of that stuff is exciting to you, they may be able to make you something that you'll enjoy even more. And that's why it's worth bringing a chef out to talk to them, because they want to make sure you have the best possible meal as well. Now, we've got even more Disney dining information to feed to you, including restaurant discounts, dining plan advice, recommendations, and more Special Diets info over on our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining. You can pick up a copy of this ebook from dfbstore.com today, and before you check out, be sure to type in code YouTube to save money on your total purchase. If you like our videos, I promise there's a lot more information in that guide. Okay, hypothetical situation for you. You're trying to book a table for your dream Disney meal. Insert the restaurant you've been prematurely drooling over here for maximum impact. However, even though you've marked on your calendar to make those advanced dining reservations 60 days in advance, you might log on to your Disney account only to find that all the reservations have already been booked. How can that be? So your initial response might be to just roll over and give up at life, but I'm here as your cheerleader in your corner to remind you that it's too early to just give up yet. Often, guests will cancel their dining reservations closer to the date of their visit, so it's important to keep checking back on the Disney World website or on the My Disney Experience app for new reservations, because you never know when a new time slot might pop up. I did some experiments on my most recent trip. I wanted to book Roundup Rodeo Barbecue and Ohana, and I kept refreshing, and over the course of a couple of days while I was there in Disney World, I was able to book the reservations that I wanted because times kept coming and going. So definitely don't lose hope. Keep refreshing and use that new reservation system, which shows you all the times you can dine there. Just book one and then keep modifying it. That's what I did to make that work. Now, if all else fails, you can also try your luck at a walk-up reservation too. Sometimes Disney World restaurants will have a few first-come, first-served spots that you'll be able to claim on the day of your visit. You can try putting your name on a walk-up wait list by going to the restaurant's host stand or by checking your My Disney Experience app's dining tip board. And now you know what major mistakes you need to avoid making before your upcoming Disney World trip. But don't think we're done giving you our best advice yet, or ever, because we got loads more tips to come. So keep checking back here with your friends at DFB, and we'll continue to make sure you're set up for success no matter when your next trip to Disney World is scheduled. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.